Today I was asked to present the health nugget for the day, and of course, being a mental health professional, my nugget is going to be centered on an issue that involves our mental health. The title of the topic today is, "Ugh, I am bored." We're going to look at what is boredom and how do I overcome it. So, a simple definition of boredom is simply an unpleasant emotional state of being in which an individual feels a pervasive lack of interest in a particular activity and finds it quite difficult to concentrate on that activity. In addition, it looks at repetitious and predictable activities that may also contribute to one's boredom as they suffer from what one would say is mental fatigue. So, breaking that down for just the novice, the average individual, what that's saying is his life is futile or unfulfilling to the individual. Basically, Boredom. It is universal. No one is exempt. Almost every individual suffers from it in some portion of their lives. Some of the individuals, though, are more likely to be bored than others. Research shows that between 30% and 90% of American adults experience boredom at some point in their lives. 91% to 98% of youth experience the same. Men, they generally become more bored than women. Interesting. We won't evolve too much into that topic. But there is also a positive link that is had between very low educational attainment as well and boredom. So let's look at some of the causes of boredom. Stimulation or understimulation. Research shows that in general, too much of the same thing and too little stimulation can cause an absence of desire and a feeling of being entrapped within that person's body. In addition, individuals that lack the inner resources to deal with boredom constructively will rely on external stimulation. So they look for outside stimuli to bring them alive again. So in the absence of inner amusement skills, the external world will also fail to give them the necessary gratification, excitement, and novelty that they seek to experience. Next, we have sensation seekers, or people that chase, different sorts of emotive activities. So people with a strong need, again, for novelty and excitement and variety at risk, they tend to feel boredom. So we're looking at people like skydivers, race car drivers, and for some, even engaging in criminal activity, they seek that type of external stimuli. Often, the external stimulation may explain why extroverts tend to be more bored than frequently are introverts, which I myself is one. So they look for, again, the involvement and engagement of other individuals to be around to give them that boost of excitement that they need. Novelty-seeking and risk-taking behaviors are the ways that people self-medicate to cure their boredom. Next, we have simplicity. Tasks that are too easy for some may be boring, and we see that with our children in the school systems. If they are not challenged, we often find that they kind of wander, whether it be around physically within the classroom or even just wander and dissociate in the classroom setting because they're not being challenged enough, the task is too easy, and they are bored. And so we see that productivity occurs when a person's skills match the level of challenge presented within their current environment. And in addition, when a task includes clear goals and immediate feedback. Next, we have inattention. Boredom is linked to problems with one's attention and concentration and focus. Oftentimes, you will find that their attention is never really fully engaged. And we see that in Individuals who suffer from chronic attention problems or disorders such as ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They tend to have a high frequency of boredom. Self-awareness. This is another contribution to one's boredom. People who lack self-awareness are more prone to this issue. A bored individual is unable to articulate or communicate what it is that they desire or what they need. They have trouble describing their emotions and their feelings within. They have an inability to know what will make them happy. A researcher in 2012 stated that not knowing what we are searching for means that we lack the capacity to choose appropriate goals for engagement with the exterior world. Next, we have autonomy. One can be bored when they find that they have lost power and control or autonomy over their lives. They tend to feel trapped. It's a big portion of one's boredom. They feel stuck or constrained. They will not find that they can execute appropriately to what it is that they would have themselves do. They feel that their creativity is being stifled and their choice has been removed. So we find with COVID-19 and having to stay at home that many are suffering from what one will call cabin fever. At the base of cabin fever is anger, but then there are other emotions that are coming into play, such as loneliness, such as sadness, and worry over the unknown. That tends to come about as a trauma response within individuals. And so when we look at boredom, it may be a result as a protective measure when one is immersed amidst chaos and unsafe environments, as we're finding today with COVID-19, with some of the police brutality that is happening within our community. Our individuals in society are not feeling very safe. In addition to trauma responses, we see that a lack of safety may trigger overwhelming and conflicting emotions, such as rage and fear. We see that boredom becomes a byproduct of disconnecting from pain that may manifest in the moment of being amidst something that is traumatic. And so additional emotions such as sadness, anger, fear, disgust, joy, and even excitement may be too much for them to manage. And so they cut off this vital source of energy that is called emotions just in order for them to be able to live. So it looks something like this: whatever, I really don't care. It is what it is. Those are phrases that are protective when one does not feel safe and one has a lack of energy to be able to articulate their thoughts and their feelings about a particular situation. So let's do something, right? Boredom is such a motivating factor, in addition to one that seems to be stifling. So this force of motivation, right, can do and to ease pain for individuals. Now, sometimes it comes across in an unsafe manner. The chronically bored tend to be at higher risk for drug addiction, alcoholism, compulsive gambling, and other sorts of self-harming behaviors. So as you begin to do something with your boredom, you have to be mindful and to check in with yourself to make certain that you're not in a state of chronic boredom, which may send you into a firefighter stage or numbing of your emotions. So many may see, oh my goodness, I'm doomed. This is just too much. But Super B comes into play. Boredom isn't all bad. It can actually save the day and may save your life. There are benefits to boredom. There is a state of being that then derives a call to action when one is bored. It's a beginning to an achievement It can provide an opportunity for thought and reflection. It can also be a sign that something that you're doing is just not quite right. It's not working for you, and you need to stop and factor in what will work for you in that moment. It's an alert for new start. This concept isn't new to us, definitely in the Seventh-day Adventist faith. New start to the rescue. Coping skills. When we look at therapy, we think that it is something that is so complex that we have to come up with all of these various types of coping skills and we don't know what we're doing. Actually, we do. New Start, in total, are coping skills that we can utilize in moments of boredom. Nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God are all coping skills in which we can utilize. So here we have some pictures of activity, of engagement. You're in water playing with your dog, you're blowing bubbles, you're just having a great time out on the beach. Here you're getting sunlight, air, and movement of the body. Here you're getting good nutrition. I see some water, right? I see some good fruits. We don't have any vegetables, but we have, a smile on our face that lets us know that good nutrition helps our mental health. And here we have exercise. And we're never too young and we're never too old, as we see from the pictures here. We all can get out and move our bodies, which in turn helps our mental health. And here we have, of course, our trust and our belief in God. He is all-knowing. He sustains us. He sustains our mind. And so it is a continued need to engage with Christ, study His Word, meditate on His Word, to maintain and to ground our mental health in something that is positive as the world continues to remain negative. So, as I wrap our health nugget up for the day, let's make certain that as boredom will present itself, as it's stated, all have come to the place of boredom, but let's do it together. Let's make certain that we're coming together, even though we need to be socially distanced. There are means and measures to still engage in positive actions to help our minds to come up out of this state of low space in boredom. We can do it together as a family. So at home, find out ways to come together, whether it may be reading the Bible together, going on walks together, or even playing together. Make certain that you don't sit with the heaviness, but you allow boredom to save the day. Thank you.